Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Kaiserreich on the Hearts of Iron 4 engine. So we're going to continue this as we get ready here. We are currently justifying you can see here we're currently justifying against the Italian Social Republic, because we want to stomp out Bolshevism. Well, this is syndicalism, I guess, but hey, same difference. We're getting a lot of oil coming in from Romania now, so that's good. War support, stability. We need to continue to get more stable.
Befehle!
And now we have more factories available. Okay. It looks like we have most of Italy currently covered by radars. That's good. Well, I guess that's a good spot to stick a factory. Military factory. And now, well, let's look and see what, do we have any deficiencies? Not particularly. We could use some more fighter aircraft. That will help us some. Okay.
Zuhören! Bereit zum Ausrücken! Befehle!
And there's stalemate on the Western Front, it looks like. Maybe us attacking into us or into Italy will change that, because they have a fairly thin line, it looks like here, though. Some swamps. Might not look good for fast advances. Okay, we are producing, we have a bunch of tanks, we have a fair amount of motorization, so let's, we just had the thought with fast armor division. Well, let's look at our armor division. It's this one, I think. Okay. That would be a nice punch up a bit of that. And hello, Arno. Hey, Toy Jet. Good to have you here. That would be a better, more balanced unit. So let's, yeah, we have the points. Let's spend it. We have the equipment. Manpower is doing okay now that we have become the Danubian Federation. Let's look at our horsey division. Okay, think we'll see about adding a signals company. There we go. And let's look at our standard infantry division. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, we have enough towed anti-air. I think we'll do that. To getting those over. Okay, that will definitely help us in our confrontation.
Angetreten. Ausrücken.
Okay, new Skoda tanks. Some mediums. That is good. I see, I'm just now quite honestly noticing they seem to have figured the Porsche line as being the primary designer for Austria. Interesting. And have you deployed your navy and naval bombers? No, I have not. Retake Venice for the Habsburg crown. Absolutely, IKB. Just trying to think here. Mentioning naval bombers. Where is there? Okay, so let's see about like 100 naval bombers here to the Adriatic for naval operations, and here let's that's right, we need to form the formation here and then send it over there because there's still just an expeditionary force. We'll do another 100 naval bombers, and then once they're formed up we'll send them over to Italy to deal with the far side of the coast. Nothing in Trieste. Well, nothing's happening there now. No, we're still at peace. We have our fleet here. And yes, we will probably or should stick it out into the Adriatic once the war starts. It's a destroyer squadron. Let's see now. We've got these guys out here operating. That'll be a pretty big hit to their commerce. So what we will want to do here is grab this destroyer squadron and why this is a reserve fleet. Okay, but whatever. Well, no, we don't want to upgrade the ship. Okay, nah. Why am I not seeing... Boy. Okay, yeah, what we want to do here is put these guys out patrolling. This fleet here. See, who's our overall? We don't really have one. And this fleet here as strike force. So once we spot an enemy, we want them to... Oh, come on. Well, are you sure? Yeah. We're reassigning you to command this fleet. No, it doesn't know. I don't know how to do Navy as well as I should. Empire of Japan declared war on the Dutch East Indies. How special. Justification of conquering Piedmont Federation is finished. Okay, so we have our justification of war. We have free factories here. Let's look for, yeah, up here. That'll be good, and here, that'll be alright. We will add more factories to produce. Okay, so no, it's this one I'm looking for. Okay, I want you to come out here, and then I want you to operate here in an anti-shipping role. Fall of Gibraltar. The mighty rock has fallen. Okay. I'm not sure whether these units that are the air units that are deployed will have to come home or not. I think this unit will once we go to war. But I think now, well, we'll save it first. I always like doing that before I make a major change. Okay, so we can now declare war. We want to declare war. Conquer. I don't know that we want to call on our allies at this moment. If we can, I want to push ourselves. We can always sort of save them for later.
Angetreten. Ausrücken.
Now we're going to pin these forces here.
Angetreten. Ausrücken.
Some pinning attacks.
Zuhören. Ihre Befehle.
Now I think yes. Here we want to hit hard into the militia division.
Achtung.
Yes, Commune of France is now our enemy. Okay. Alpine region. You also go after. Okay, they're all coming in as our enemies, which is basically fine because most of those people are way off. Okay, non-aggression pact. I don't think we have any major concerns about Britain, the British Canada, and I don't think we have too many concerns about the French Republic, so I think we will go with that. Maybe a mistake, but I hope not. Okay, formation, fighting, research is finished. Air experience we have maxed out there, so yeah, we will do that. Uh-oh, Edward Berger wounded. He shouldn't be so near the front time. See an Italian front line so we can Kaiserreich. Well, they are, or had been, fairly busy down here. Looks like they're maybe speeding northward there to deal with this. Our expeditionary forces come home, or is heading home. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, any toy jet, any real problem with doing most of these non-aggression pacts with Sardinia? And Sardinia is a little closer, but Morocco or Portugal or Germany, East Asia, Lithuania, cause, you know, Papal States, I don't know that we're going to go for conquering Papal States. Yeah, okay, good. Kingdom of Denmark, yeah, most of these are either way far off. Yeah, we don't want to mess with the Entente. That is good advice. We're going after the Syndicalists, getting what we can out of that. Okay, well, you attack into Venice, cutting off all these guys, hopefully. Oh good, these guys are already here. Great, okay. Armored division. Drive down to here, to here. Forces, you follow. You can get to Milan. Okay. You stay where you are just to make sure we don't lose contact. Okay. You push into here. And you push up into there, in at least an attempt to delay, to hold movements to fill in this gap. Looks like they've SR'd in, but super weakly because they'll be disorganized. Ah, even more. Okay. And now we have, because we've captured down here, we have more factories. Very nice. Well, let's look currently. Okay, again, we don't have deficiencies in our current needs. Well, we have a fair number of men, so let's recruit up a few more divisions. What is our output? Okay, that's a good unit. So let's... we can't train any more of those up until we make more regular units. Okay. Now, let's deploy these guys that are partially trained. They'll get experience once they're deployed. Now, okay, now we need more support equipment. That's sort of what I was wanting to know. Yards. Yeah, we'll just build more subs. Or have them contribute to that. You zip down to there as fast as practical. There. I can cut Italy off, big if, but if I can, yeah, you push into there just to pin them.
Angetreten. Ihre Befehle?
Yeah, that's true. Support from the dreadnoughts. Well, you know, let's cancel all plans and just come out here and sit. That will give fire support for the coastal units. Support that assault across there. Well, that looks like that's gonna stall out. Okay, well this this push into here has clearly been very successful.
Zum Ausrücken. Vorwärts, Männer!
Looks like they're about ready to get cut back off.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken! Achtung! Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken! Ausrücken! Angetreten. Ausrücken.
That over there, these 5 divisions.
Ausrücken.
Down to there.
Ausrücken.
Yeah, support equipment, I think it is. We're going to continue to focus our production. Yeah, this is basically completely stalled out. I'm still thinking that there's a... well... no, I think it's going to take more of this army here to get in.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Smash across these rivers. Yeah, I don't think we're any longer having any aircraft basing out of Italian space. Barely at sea there. We should try to get KR multiplayer game going now that China update is out. Yeah, could be interesting. Oh, we'll let that continue. Looks like we don't have air supremacy over northern Italy. Okay, well, see what we can do to deal with that. Not enough. We need more fighters. Well, let's see about putting some tactical bombers up and shifting some air from other regions. Come over here. Go after that. Tactical bombers. Also there. Okay, now. Yeah. Don't really know why you're up there, but you guys come down. Well, we're running out of space there. Where is there more air bases? Do I need to build more? I don't know. Too far away for there. Okay, well. You're covering the air more a bit south in Italy. Okay, well, I guess that's pretty good. And naval invasions. Not at this time, I don't think. We're still cleaning up this pocket in here. And I want to concentrate and push down in here. I feel that with what I see happening here, if we do a naval invasion, it won't be strong enough. It'll get cut off. And won't be able to push in. Like we're seeing problems already here with the forces
Angetreten.
We're not doing well enough.
Ihre Befehle?
Oh, they can't quite get to there. Wonder if that's better. And from there to there? Yeah, there we go. That'll be a little better.
Bereit. Achtung. Ausrücken. Bereit.
Fast division would be in place, contain invasion quickly. Take Milan, yeah. Venice airfield has it? Yes, there is an airfield there. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there is one. Okay. You guys come down to Venice. So they're pushed in here. They're going to push us out of here, it looks like. Yeah, naval invasion does not look like anything but a complete pocket attempt. Okay, well, our fast push in there has failed. Our cutoff of a huge amount of forces has worked very well. Let's put you on train to get you to here quickly. You can march to there.
Ausrücken.
Okay, it looks like we're gonna hold there.
Zuhören.
Okay, well, I took a fairly large loss here. Maybe not huge. What's this? Yes. Yes, two Sicilies, yes. Okay, let's see if we can move back into here, because I really don't want to give it up.
Ausrücken. Befehle? Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle. Ausrücken. Angetreten. Ausrücken.
Okay, well, at least we kept this push into here, and we've taken that. That will help facilitate get down to Verona. Hello, Rumpstein. Yes, we've got him a pocket of Kessel in here
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
for sure. North of you talking about up in here? Well, you know what I would rather do is let them stay there and push into Milan again and cut them off. I would rather do that, quite honestly. Not that that is a terrible idea of pushing for that. Hey, thanks for following, and anybody else out there would appreciate a follow. Okay, now that we're here, Looks like we need to next time up our intelligence so we get better ideas, better decryption.
Bereit.
Come on, everybody, just crush that pocket. Okay, Hungary yields, bypass, worst is over. Okay, so we've got the, where is it? Down here. Okay. The worst is over. Hungary's yield. So we can do into the world, which will increase our base stability a lot more. 35 days. That's probably what we'll do. Yeah, we'll do that. 35 days into the world. Yes, yes, Milan. Good fashion house. Since we won't be able to get the French fashions, for us is not likely thing to happen. We'll have to be stuck with Italian fashions, I guess. Not that that's a bad thing.
Zuhören.
Oh, fall of Sacramento out in California, it looks like. Let's go take a look out there. Yep, taking Sacramento. Yep, the Pacific States is more than just doomed. Okay, now we were mentioning that. Oh, yep, no, that's where we need to go. We wanted to do better decryption so we can spy on our enemies a little better, get better intelligence on them.
Bereit.
We've only got 2 divisions left, and we're okay. Better bombers, yeah, I think we can convert over to that. I think we'll want to also put better naval bombers. It will mean a disruption, obviously, in production, but I think we'll just do that. Come on, guys, we need to free up these divisions before we really push on. We need to control our skies better, I think. Okay, good. You guys are there.
Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
We are making more support equipment than we are we're currently using up. And we got a cushion of artillery and anti-tank. So I think we will do more support just to get that caught up, our production to our needs.
Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
How is our air war doing? Okay, we're green over all of our active territory there. Yes, all's quiet on the front for the moment. We'll let these guys get
Befehle?
organized up. Yep, no more Pacific states. We're back under the oppression of the central government. Okay, so
Ausrücken!
Verona hit hard. Come on.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken! Bereit! Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken! Zuhören!
Into the American Civil War. Oh good, they're pushing a bit up here, good.
Ihre Befehle?
Heart attack. Force rate. I think we'll go down this one. Wonder what's going to start the streams first. Oh well, you already missed the first one. I sort of started with one before I started the episode.
Vorwärts, Männer!
Well, let's see about shifting. Guess they're already operating in the Po region, so I don't know that we need to shift them. It looks like effectively over most of it. Okay. End of the Spanish Civil War. Great. Kingdom of Spain. Okay. Well, we got the Kingdom of Spain. Hopefully that'll be that. Yeah. Maybe not quite a rant, but...
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
That's not really meant to take them. That's just to sort of force them to push up over there. How is our production of fighters doing? Not well enough. We got close air support. Well, we'll throw another big squadron of them into here.
Bereit! Ausrücken! Zuhören!
And let's
Bereit
get
zum Ausrücken!
some of these divisions.
Ihre Befehle?
I don't know that we need them up there. But we could use some of the militia divisions, because you guys earlier mentioned naval invasions. Just in case somebody is trying something against us.
Befehle. Ausrücken.
Guarding our coastline isn't a bad option. Hey, Arno is now hosting. Very good. Thank you, Arno.
Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Zuhören. Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken!
Okay, they are getting naval support now that we're attacking along the coast. Into the world. Very good. Okay, so we got that. 35 days into that. Let's come back up here. Research support technologies. Well, we're almost through some of that. Question is, have they weakened this enough to make this attack even somewhat worthwhile? Not terribly. But again, part of what I want to do is simply to continue to force them to put, just to keep them from concentrating their forces in one spot.
Zum Ausrücken.
We've got a bunch of divisions there. So we, of course.
Ausrücken! Befehle? Angetreten! Auf geht's!
New general in charge. Okay. I just say that Austria Armed Force Act is in fact not very nice word Norwegian. Okay. Verona, we're using Cyclist in and out of this. They're using oh yes. Yeah. You're talking about over here and whatnot. That's sort of why I'm attacking other places, to keep them from being able to cycle too much, but we could directly attack here as well. Pilot promoted, very nice.
Right.
Maybe we'll tie up a lot of their divisions.
Zuhören.
Well, it looks like they're down to just 5 divisions there in Verona. Okay, and
Bereit. Angetreten.
okay, very good. Now we have Verona. We're going to push straight onto there.
Zuhören.
These guys are going to push into there.
Zuhören. Ausrücken. Abstand halten.
Because I want to get out into the Mediterranean as opposed to just being here, just to cut off everything down that's facing down the Kingdom of Two Sicilies as much as possible. You should know. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, you don't need to say it, write it somewhere and leave a link here. But I guess I'm not terribly worried about offending
Zuhören.
the rest of the Norwegians with this, but yeah, I get your point.
Achtung. Zuhören.
Okay, we've got Verona, so we're going to continue to push to there, push to here, push to here, push to here.
Zuhören.
Support that attack, we don't want to give up that province either.
Achtung. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
How do we get Americans over here? Oh, lovely. Now that their civil war is done. I don't know what it means. Who writes it first?
Zuhören.
Okay. Yes.
Ausrücken.
Yes. Irish bridge, defend bridge.
Angetreten. Zuhören.
Oh, come on, people, keep pushing there.
Zuhören. Achtung. Ausrücken.
Oh, what do we have down here? Italian Republic. Sardinia is coming in, I guess. Doing a landing there? How interesting. Okay. Maximum fire support. Nice. Okay. Heavy tank models. And we will increase our military factories for provinces like here and here where we can expand the most. I'm a little less worried about infrastructure rebuilding. Hey Tippett! I hope you're doing well down in the land down under with all of the fires that we see. I hope things get better for all of you down there. Okay, get organized up a little bit.
Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Come on, produce more fighters. We need more fighters. Okay, we have... Let's see, what are we doing here? Okay, partial mobilization. War economy. Yeah, that's what we need to do is... We're gonna go to war economy here. And, well, let's see. We have... That would be helpful. Yeah, we're hearing about them, Tippett. It's, I don't know that we're getting it accurate. Obviously, we're getting very dramatic video footage and people's traumatic stories, and I see those types of things happening in California. In fact, it happened to a cousin of mine here, meaning his house completely burnt down and everything in it lost. Basically everything he owned lost last year. Well, a year and a half ago or more. But as a percentage of California, they're small, but it's obviously tragic for those that are involved. And if you just watch the news, you presume like all of California is on fire. So I don't know, as a percentage of Australia, how bad it is, but I'm sure it's absolutely terrible for those involved. I don't want to go, oh, it's nothing. It's, you know, that kind of thing. Ah. Your exam score released. I hope it was a good score. Let's see, we could do better. Support companies here. Reconnaissance, military police. Signal infantry. Yeah, we could probably do. Okay, logistics. We'll do logistics. Very excellent. Very excellent. Recon? Yeah, recon wouldn't have been a bad option.
Bereit! Zuhören!
Five massive fires, no, we're near dead. No naval battles, we'll check that in a moment. Or no, just reading the yeah, the spiders down there are a bit scary. Well, looks like there's a little bit of stuff going on out here. A lot of our air after a little bit of theirs. Down here they haven't been coming up to our naval support yet, but that looks like about it for naval operations. Oh, well, maybe down here. No, we have no intel on that. Okay.
Zum Ausrücken.
Oh, good. More divisions.
Befehle.
Let's put them under this guy. You can come under, oh, maybe they're maxed out. Okay, well.
Angetreten. Bereit. Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken! Bereit? Ausrücken! Ihre Befehle! Ausrücken!
Yeah, Australia is a big place. Not quite the scale of the United States, but still a rather big place. Europe is a rather small place, and especially if you compare it to the US, Africa, Australia, the size of the countries. Considerably larger, I would generally say. Okay, we're into 41, which means we can do more production research. provide us with 7 Sturmpanzerwagons. Hey, 7 Vs. Okay, okay. If those are really those are a bit old, but okay. They want to give us some World War I tanks.
Ihre Befehle? Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken!
Well, that would be a lot of area. California is what I think it's the second or third largest state in the United States, and that's including Alaska, which of course is huge. Organize the offensive first, but we all just go on it. Support, we don't want to abandon. Okay,
Angetreten.
now we're facing French generals. They should just run away. I really have to wonder why the Swedish are so worried about global warming. They should be like, warm? We get the chance to have it warmer? Or is it just guilt up there that they know that they would get all nice and toasty and warm, and everybody else would be in bad shape? Don't know. Now we have Chandra Boss here. Hey, Azad, your buddy. He somehow made it over here to fight in the Italian Social Republic. Why is India sending troops?
Zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle? Angetreten. Befehle?
Socialist unity, yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with it, but oh, there we go. Now we get better looking. That we have their decryption. Very good. See things a bit better. Now we'll see about trying to shut down their look into us with some encryption. Okay, well, again, let's... well, we could do more modern fighter, or more modern close air support. Okay, let's go with that. And tanks, oh, medium tanks. Well, yeah, that might be a good thing to do. Put some medium tanks into production. no, I say we don't have any because we have light tanks in production. There we go, start them building. I know we need more fighters and all, but we'll get there. Okay, better military techniques. Okay, you guys attack there to pin those troops down. You support that attack.
Befehle? Ausrücken! Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Fun fact, Bengali communists served as Stalin's secretary and even did work in Mexico. Was that work putting an ice pick into somebody? No. In Mexico. Socialists are just god-awful people. No, I know I just said that, and I have viewers that I don't want to scare away, not just because I do want to change it, but I guess AZ's got me into another political rant. But if they I guess if they understood things better, they wouldn't be socialists. It's just because, you know, I'm thinking right now in the context, you know, AZ's talking about, you know, Bengali communists serving as Stalin's secretary. Yeah, and international socialism, but the reality is that people are so different from each other that trying to set it up under a single world government, under a single governing philosophy, I think is just I don't know if naive is the right term, misguided may be the better term. And then just trying to how to explain this right. I don't know. I'm probably gonna I probably already messed things up just by the initial statement. But thanks, Arno. And thanks for the links there. I hope people find them interesting. It's just people complain about and it's the left, I should say, primarily the left complains about how there's poor people in Africa are starving and things are just so terrible. It's our fault that it's just so terrible and we must do something about it. Well, what the hell do you think colonialism was all about? I mean, really, people, do you not understand, particularly, and I am thinking and primarily talking at British colonialism. There are other types, and I know I'm speaking to Azads here who is opposed to my views, and that's fine. And he's not wrong just because he opposes my views. I think his views are wrong. That's fine, and he can have wrong views. I don't dislike him for having wrong views. But at least he understands that people are not all the same everywhere. But there was a very strong do-gooder aspect with British colonialism. And yes, oh, well, slavery. Yeah, and Britain is the main power that really pushed the anti-slavery movement. So yeah, people were bad in the past. And if you go back far enough, you'll find plenty of bad things that people did. No doubt. But we were really seeing, in particularly British colonialism, but even to different degrees in other colonialism, a real attempt to do things. We could call it modernize, we could call it westernize, we call it develop other parts of the world. And then we get there's three reasons, in my opinion, colonialism ends. One is 2 world wars that exhaust Europe. 2 is the push of international socialism, which is just another form of colonialism. But without that sort of name attached, but it was empire building, and it was at least under Stalinist and other Russian Soviet leaders centralized on the Soviet pattern. Yeah, I do know the whole Mao and the other thing, but mainly we're looking at Soviet. Those are 2 of the factors. The third factor is within Western culture, an anti-colonialist viewpoint, which has a mix of reasons that it exists. But we can't fix other countries' problems because they are their own country and they're doing the things they have always wanted to do and think they should do. So the only way to fix that is to remove the country by, invading it, taking it over. I don't know. Ethiopia ain't gonna change, or Somalia ain't gonna change just on its own. It's gonna be what it always is. It's the idea that, Japan is just going to change. Well, it did because we occupied it. In a colonialist sense, we weren't doing it for our benefit, the U.S., at least not primarily as our occupation, because we could have exploited it much more. Sure, we were doing it from the benefit of we don't want to go to war with them again in another major war anytime soon. So we definitely changed Japan significantly, and I've studied it pretty well to see what, pre-foreign interaction, the samurai, early mostly Portuguese, no, mostly I guess, Portuguese, Spanish most type interaction, early sort of colonialism, or your early European contact. There was no real colonialism. And then Japan shutting themselves off under the Meiji period from the rest, or the shogunate period, sort of under the rest of the world, keeping most of it out, and then the Americans sort of showing up, Perry's fleet and whatnot, and Japan realizes, oh shit, we're really effing backward from the rest of the world. And they realized that, and they did sort of change on their own because they realized it was change or die. But they did it their way, and so that whole period then leads into World War II, and then the post-World War cultural changes. And the idea of an international socialism is just going to be wonderful good. Everybody is going to be put under the same government, under the same governmental policies. Just doesn't understand humanity. At least that's how I see it. That's why, it just got awful. Bengali had a hotbed of nationalist revolutionaries in the 30s, and the British started converting some of the revolutionaries to socialism in order to divide their enemies. How interesting. I didn't know that was a policy in 1977 onwards. The Commie Party would take over the reins of power in West Bengali state, simply and hold it until... Very interesting. U.S. needed Japan in order to hold... No, I disagree on that they needed Japan to hold the PRC. No, PRC was landlocked. Japan really wasn't an issue there, even if they'd taken something like Korea as a united Korea under North Korea. Just didn't have a navy. The Soviet naval presence in the Pacific was never a focus. I'm disagreeing with that. I may be wrong, but the Soviet real naval focus was to control the North Atlantic. It wasn't to be out here. So the Philippines was enough of a basing to do that. If we had either left Japan as a post World War One, like Germany, oh, you must disarm, nothing, no armaments, no nothing. I mean, for a way it was sort of that way, but kept it as that. If we had done that, or if we had done sort of like what they did with East Germany, turn it into sort of an exploited puppet state. No, I don't see that as necessary. Now, jump ahead to the Clinton policy is what made China as strong as it is today. President Clinton is going to go down. Look back historically, his policy of opening trade and everything up with China has made China a great power once again. And it's fragile, but it's what's made it that. And I just don't see... now we can see their navy in Japan as a counterbalance now, but since the 90s, since 2000, whatever, that Japan really does help counterbalance China, because naval power limits the revolutionary abilities in these areas. Wasn't as strong in the Pacific, precisely because a lot of us continue. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I also think of it as strategic emphasis. I don't think the Soviet Union was ever able to do a two-ocean navy that could properly fight in both oceans simultaneously. Now, the Soviets never had a long-legged navy, never had a navy that could operate for long periods of time. So, yeah, they had a few bases, in Cuba and other places. For a while, Cameron Bay, after they, after 75 and took Vietnam, they occupied our naval bases there in Cameron Bay. But I just think just looking at building, naval building capabilities, they just weren't going to have a two-ocean navy that could properly challenge. So it's one ocean they get to pick, and I think they're always going to pick the Atlantic as their ocean, because this is really Russia here. This is Russia. This is Russia's colonial possessions that are important. And we can look at, yep, they sailed their navy over, 1905, Straits of Tsushima, get it sunk. Their great achievement was simply being able to sail their navy all the way around to there as effectively as they did. So yes, if there was a thing happening in the world that they felt they needed to move their navy over here back, like in the 60s or the 70s or whatnot, they certainly could have, but they would have to think whatever they were doing, maybe facing China or something, if because there has been several flare-ups of border conflicts between the People's Republic of China and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. So if they felt they needed to do that, they could have, maybe they were worrying about U.S. and Japanese naval presence, blocking them from do that, but they could do that, but that strategically removes them from any action while that's happening in the Atlantic. So yeah, I'm not buying that. Again, I could be wrong. Better ports, that's what Manchuria. Yeah, oh yeah, I understand what you're talking about there. Russia never had a long navy permit because securing ports with open access is... Yeah. No, I disagree. They never had the trade. And without the trade, you can't have a big navy without a significant seaborne trade. One requires the other, and the Russians, the Germans, for sure the Austrians, never really had it to any scale. Yeah, I know about the German Empire out here. It's obviously featured here, but they never really had it in volume. France had overseas trade, while Spain had overseas trade, particularly to, the New World. Their navy was strong. But so without a global trade situation, and you sort of need that, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but no, once Peter the Great gets, St. Petersburg, once they get to Crimea, they had the ability to trade, they just didn't. And it's also a budget issue too, so I'm just not buying that. I get where you're coming from, but I'm just not buying.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Well, we're going to end the episode here on all that. Not the live stream, you guys just hang tight. We'll be continuing, but those of you on YouTube, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Love to hear your thoughts on trade and as being a requirement to have a global reach navy. That would be an interesting thought to hear from you viewers out there. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, please share the videos. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.